What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is Regan and I'm here for Scarlet Miata, and today I'm going to share with you if Android Auto, specifically Android Auto, is worth it as an upgrade in your car. Let's do this. Alright, so for those of you who follow me in the channel, you know that a few videos ago I was able to upgrade my Scarlet with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which comes as a package in the kit that Mazda installs, and that kit cost me around $400 US, and it took around an hour and a half to install the entire thing in Mazda Makati. Now, I've been using the car and I've been using the kit for quite a while now, and right now I think I have a decent amount of experience to be able to share with you if Android Auto is truly worth it as an upgrade. You see, I don't really have much experience on Apple CarPlay because I am not using the Apple ecosystem as my as my daily use for my cell phone. I've always been on Android phones, and right now I'm on Samsung phone, so I'm gonna share with you if the Android Auto upgrade is a truly worthwhile upgrade to do to your car. The first thing that you'd notice with Android Auto is this thing. You can see cell phone goes into the cable, and the cable gets hooked up to the USB port that's right here. Android Auto in its current iteration now does not support Bluetooth, at least in Scarlet. So if I want to access my Android Auto from my cell phone and go into the infotainment system, I'll have to plug in the cell phone like so. And in doing so, well, it's charging. That's one good thing. And if you notice, the Android Auto interface already automatically activates on the infotainment screen right there. Well, it's a bit of a bummer because as much as possible I want to have some Bluetooth. Just keep the phone inside my bag or inside my pocket and not have to connect any cables like so. But that's not the case in the current iteration of Android Auto as it lies. Next, you'd notice that the home screen of Android Auto right there is not a touchscreen. This is one of my biggest disappointments with Android Auto. I would expect it to at least have some touchscreen functionality on my touchscreen in Scarlet, because it's already 2019, guys. It's the 21st century. We need a touchscreen. So how do you control this whole thing? You have to use the control knob right here at the bottom. See? You have to go here and use this to scroll around in your Android Auto. So it's a bit of a step back when it comes to usability and functionality. And honestly, that's another disappointment that I've experienced with my Android Auto kit. One of the advantages of Android Auto is that you get to have your Google Assistant on hand already in the infotainment system, which is supposed to be an advantage, but however, the problem is it's not as intuitive as I would want it to be. I couldn't even call my wife using Android Auto's Google Assistant. Let me demonstrate. Hey Google, call my wife.
Who is your wife?
Leia.
There are two people with that name, Lee of MN Contractor or Lee Symbolas. Which one do you want?
Legan.
Sorry, which Lee?
Legan.
Sorry, which Lee?
Legan.
Sorry, which Lee?
See, it's crazy. Cancel.
Sorry, which Lee?
Cancel.
Okay, no problem.
Now, let's give it another try. Give it another try. Hey Google, call my mom.
Which number? Mobile, other, work, or home?
Mobile.
Calling Edna Angela Scon, mobile.
Oh, well, it worked. Wow. That's good. Let's cancel that. Don't need to call my mom right now in this video. So you see, sometimes Google Assistant works, sometimes it doesn't work. Now, I don't like that kind of guessing game to go on while I'm driving, and I'm driving hard in Scarlet while down the freeway. It's tough. It's tough. So it's supposed to be an advantage, but in its current version now, Android Auto doesn't really do it for me when it comes to being intuitive and being helpful in the command. Another bit of disappointment that I've had is just how archaic this whole interface looks. Look at it. Aside from not being a touchscreen, it also looks like an interface that came from a DOS operating system. By the way, for those of you millennials out there, DOS is like the father of Windows. It's the operating system that was really popular before Windows happened. So yeah, there's color, yeah, and all that, but this is so disappointing. It sucks how this entire thing looks like that, and I believe it's looked like this for the past 3 years. I mean, come on, Google. Apple did a much better job with their Apple CarPlay than this interface. I mean, look at that. Yeah, it's functional. You scroll down the wheel and you could take your options there and all that, but it's really disappointing. And the resolution, not so good. Let's go to Waze. Right? See, there's the Waze app right there. It's a little bit on the bright side, and it's not as high definition as I want it to be. So yeah, and the mere fact that you cannot really scroll through the map because the touchscreen is disabled. I mean, this is a touchscreen display and it's disabled. You can't even take a look at the surroundings on the map. You can just fiddle around it. You just have to input your destination and just leave it like that, which could be good, but honestly, I love spending my traffic time when I'm stuck in traffic just scrolling around the map just to see some interesting places around me while I'm stuck in heavy Manila traffic. And I can't do that with this Android Auto interface right now. You guys are gonna ask me, so why the hell did you do it? Why did you get this Apple CarPlay Android Auto upgrade for $400 US if it's not really worth it, if it's a disappointing upgrade? Well, to be honest, I didn't really do my research on Android Auto, and at first I thought that the interface of Apple CarPlay was the interface for Android Auto. I mean, yeah, I'm that stupid. So imagine my disappointment when it turned out that Android Auto doesn't have that kind of interface. Well, aside from that, well, what are some of the positives about this install? Well, for one thing, since it's already a wired connection between my infotainment system and the phone, the audio quality of Spotify, at least in Scarlet, improved much better. Volume doesn't need to be as high, and clarity is pretty good. Another thing is having the map of Waze on the screen itself, like so, for me is generally just safer. This is a much safer arrangement because, well, you don't really have to look down on your phone. Plus the fact that if you will look at the dashboard, the interior cabin of the MX-5, the Miata, there's really not much space to mount a phone mount without compromising some of the interior space. So yeah, that's another positive. I don't really have to mount my phone anymore. Doesn't have to be mounted up there in the dashboard. Doesn't have to take much space. That's another small positive. So yeah, those are just some of the positives, but they are far outweighed by the negatives and the disappointments I've experienced so far. So at first I was about to chalk it up as a fail. I just failed to research properly on this mod, and yeah, so I wasted $400 on some few tiny perks that Android Auto gave me, but in totality it's really more of a disappointment. But then I finally did my research, and during my research I just saw an announcement by Google that they are now rolling out an update of their Android Auto which would completely transform the interface into something that is more user-friendly, like an Apple CarPlay interface. And this new update would now make use of the touchscreen functionality that is built into some manufacturers' cars, which, lucky for me, includes Mazda. So Mazda's infotainment system with a touchscreen will now work with this new update of Android Auto that will roll out in the next couple of weeks, and I'm really excited to see that. And I hope that with that update, with that free update that Google will roll out for Android Auto, it will finally make my $400 upgrade a much more worthwhile upgrade. So if that happens, then great for me. Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you like my video, please hit that like button. And if you have any comments about Android Auto or even Apple CarPlay, hit me in the comments below, guys. And yeah, I'll see you again in the next video. By the way, subscribe to my channel as well. Bye bye.